Hi everyone, welcome to All In, the Fleischman Center's alumni live lunch interviews. I'm your host, Cassie. Today we will be joined by Lauren Binnert, who is a 2017 grad and is currently working with the Peace Corps. So we'll get her connected in just a second here. If this is your first time joining us for an All In, please feel free to put your questions in the comments or to use the question feature below. Again, today we are joined by Lauren Binnert, and so we'll get her connected in just a second here. She graduated in 2017 and has been working for the Peace Corps. So we'll get her connected in just a second. Get her loaded in there. Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Cassie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. It's good to see you.
I know.
It's been a while.
I know. I was thinking that too. That's been like the best part of doing these interviews has been like reconnecting with people that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, awesome. We're so excited to talk with you about your experience and to kind of dive into it. We got a bunch of questions from students. So to get us started, can you tell us who you are and a little bit about your Binghamton experience?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Lauren. I graduated from Binghamton in May 2017. I majored in psychology and Spanish with minors in education and global studies, and was really fortunate to be a part of a lot of different organizations during my time at Bing. I worked with the Fleischman Center, the Discovery Center, the Study Abroad Office, the English Language Learning Department. So yeah, and for the past couple of years, I have been a Peace Corps volunteer in the education sector in Costa Rica, and recently this year was kind of promoted, got to stay for what would have been a year extension as a Peace Corps volunteer leader, but unfortunately that was disrupted and we were evacuated in March. So at the moment I'm unemployed, but hoping to reinstate and go back depending on how everything goes over the next couple of months.
Awesome. Great. Can you share, I know a lot of people had questions just about the Peace Corps, what got you into that, what you even do there. So can you share a little bit more about what you have been doing or what you were doing with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So my first 2 years of service, I was working in the education sector, so teaching English. And I was in an Italian bilingual school, actually, funnily enough, in a place called San Vito, which is really close to the Panamanian border. It's about 8 hours away from the capital. And there I was working with 3 other English co-teaching counterparts in high school classrooms. I was also working with an adult night school teaching English, and with a women's conversation group. So yeah, the first 2 years of my service were primarily focused on English education, working with my teaching counterparts. And then this year-long extension was as a volunteer leader, and in that role I got to move to San Jose and support our TEFL Teaching English as a Foreign Language programming team. And in that role I was supporting with administrative things kind of behind the scenes, updating training materials, helping to train incoming groups of volunteers as well who are coming to serve in the education sector, and doing some really cool side projects with the Ministry of Public Education in Costa Rica as well.
Awesome. Now, when you first decided to go into the Peace Corps, what kind of led you to even apply and to kind of take this route after graduation?
Yeah, so what put Peace Corps on my radar in general were some of my really incredible mentors at Binghamton University, actually. So a couple of my mentors had participated and had served in the Peace Corps in their previous experience, so they put it on my radar, and through conversations with them, I knew that I was interested in working internationally, getting experience abroad. I chose a Spanish-speaking country because I'm also very interested in language learning and think it's really important, and have always been interested in education. So kind of the intersection of all of those interests led me there, and it's been a really fantastic experience.
Awesome. Cool. We had one person write in a question if there was any particular experience that you had while you were at Binghamton that you feel most prepared you for your experience in the Peace Corps.
Oh, that's a difficult question. I would say it really involvement in all of the different spaces that I was in Binghamton, working at the Fleischman Center, working with the study abroad office, just getting experiences connecting with a lot of people, because I think that through those opportunity, the more you put yourself out, the more opportunity you have to connect with others, and the more you hear about others' stories and can feel inspired by those types of things. So those connections, I think, are human connection is really, really important.
Yeah, awesome, great. And do you have any like particular stories from the time, whether you were teaching or just being in Costa Rica, that really stand out? A bunch of people asked if you had like a favorite memory or something.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's another difficult question because there really are so many. Some of my fondest memories of my time with the Peace Corps, I lived with a host family for my first 6 months there, and we're still really, really close. So my host mother is a 72-year-old woman named Eudolia, and really just having every morning sitting and drinking coffee with her, hearing about the stories and her experiences growing up have been really, really impactful.
That's great. Awesome. And what was the experience like getting evacuated due to COVID? I know it must have been quick and unexpected, but can you talk us through that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was very quick and unexpected, because for the weeks leading up to it, everyone had obviously, we were abroad and hearing about this experience, like coronavirus and COVID. So we were talking with our supervisors, like, should we be worried about this? Will we be evacuated? And everyone was kind of like, we don't think so. We haven't heard anything from higher up. And then one Monday morning, woke up at 4 a.m. to an email that was pack 2 50-pound bags and get to San Jose on the next bus. So it was a really emotional experience. But everything happens for a reason. I think it was unprecedented. Peace Corps has never been evacuated like that on a global scale before. So everyone is now in the process of figuring out how to get volunteers back to post and navigating this very unprecedented time and experience.
Now, ideally, and I know you probably don't have the information, but ideally, will you be going back to Costa Rica?
That's my plan at the moment. They've released reinstatement applications, which is positive.
Yeah,
but of course, no one knows what's going to happen. No one can really predict the future, but they have told us that they're going to try to get volunteers back to post by around like October, December at the earliest. So hopefully by the end of the year, but everyone's playing things by ear.
Yeah, totally. So before you got evacuated and you were still involved with everything, what were kind of your next plans in terms of career goals or next opportunities? Had you thought about that?
Yeah. I've been had been thinking about that. I was actually planning hopefully to extend even longer to continue working with the Ministry of Education in Costa Rica, and we were doing some really cool projects in education down there, and those experiences were also leading me to think about a little longer term in the future, and have been leading me down a path towards that I think is geared towards higher education and education in general.
Awesome. Love that as a higher ed professional.
Yeah.
Awesome. Do you have advice for students who may be tuning in who are either thinking about the Peace Corps or any type of service-oriented opportunity post-graduation?
Yeah. My first piece of advice would be to reach out to people who are already into it, because I know, like, from all of the other Peace Corps volunteers that I know, if that's something that you're interested in, volunteers love talking about their experience. So if you have questions, very rarely will a volunteer tell you, no, I don't want to talk about this. We all love talking about our experiences. So reaching out to people that you know that have done something like that before to learn about their stories. And yeah, I would say also go for it. I know Peace Corps has been a really, really impactful experience for me. And if anyone has any other personal questions or that type of thing, if you want to share my contact information, please feel free. But yeah, getting in contact with people who have participated in those types of experiences because they've got some really incredible stories.
Awesome. Great. Well, Lauren, I have one last question. It's how we end all of our all-ins with a food-related question because it is around lunchtime. So I imagine that going to Costa Rica, you tried some things that maybe you hadn't had before in terms of food or different dishes. So was there a favorite dish that you tried for the first time?
Ooh, I would say if anyone on here has ever been to Costa Rica before or heard of gallo pinto, it's just a rice and beans dish. But Costa Ricans, it's a typical breakfast in Costa Rica, and they'll have a full plate of rice and beans in the morning with like plátanos maduros, like the sweet plantains, eggs, toast, and some type of like a sausage or something. So like Costa Rican breakfast is very hearty and delicious, and it's not anything particularly exotic or crazy, but it's just like a warm,
Yeah.
it makes me feel really nice.
That's good. Hey, we all need that right now, right? You gotta have your comfort dishes and all of that. So
that's for
Lauren,
sure.
I so appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. And for anyone watching, like Lauren said, reach out to her. Reach out to other alums or people that you know who've taken advantage of these opportunities because they would love to chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. It was really great to see you and talk with you a bit more.
Yeah, so good. Have a good one, Lauren.
You too. See ya.
Bye.